I'm embarrassed and excited to catch up. It's been a minute. And I have my coffee here. And I'm just gonna I've been trying to take more BTS on my Instagram or just I have my phone to the side. But my bad, y'all. What a week. Let's hop right in because Love is Blind, the way it has me in a chokehold. First of all, Habibi, come to Dubai. I don't know what song that's from. Okay, so I'm watching Love is Blind and Love is Blind Habibi. Asynchronous. Oof. You ever try to use a word for the first time and then you butcher that word? That just happened. Asynchronously. Asynchronously. I'm gonna put that back in the back seat and I'm never gonna try that again. Asynchronously. I believe the word is asynchronously, where it's like not at the same without needing to be at the same time. Yeah, no, I am not above little dictionary.com action. I believe it's asynchronously. Like we don't grow our you see, I'm so out of rhythm. We don't grow our vocabulary from like never trying new words. And I've always said, "Ooh, this is a interesting word, and I'm going to try to slip it in whenever I feel like it's time." Asynchronous. Asynchronous. Asynchronously. So yeah, not at the same time. That's what I thought. I was like, wait, do I have the at least definition right? Okay, asynchronously. I'm watching Love is Blind, US and Dubai asynchronously. Well, actually, technically at the same time, but not literally at the same time, but like I'm going back and forth. I'm so sorry for wasting like 2.5 minutes of your time with with that word struggle. But let's get back on track. Love is Blind. Sorry for my two nails. They broke today. A lot of my ADHD symptoms are going to come out on this video because I'm just all over the place. Let's take a sip of water, Glow. Let's calm down. You can do this. You can do this. Ah! Okay. Love is Blind. I am at, yeah, Wednesday, the reunion comes out. I have watched all up until the wedding. I have done enough threads where I don't give out any spoilers. This is not that. So if you have not watched up until the wedding, this is a spoiler alert. Please turn off this video and come back when you've caught up. I I have so many thoughts and I threaded most of them. One thing I really appreciate about the Love is Blind franchise, which is getting a lot of criticism, I think it's unwarranted. I think people are so hypercritical when they've never tried anything themselves. It is incredibly brave to put yourself out there to take a shot at love publicly and in a way where you have no control over the edits. So I know a lot of people, the way that they're edited or just portrayed, like, yes, that is them, but also obviously for to heighten the plot. You know, everyone's worst parts and best parts are going to be made. Um, they're just going to be heightened. So you just have to always keep that in mind. There is not a single perfect person I know in this world. Not me, not Stefan, not any of my friends. Like perfection is not the standard for humanity. Perfection is also not required for love. And I wish more people like just had that as a baseline because we think that love is something that you earn, like it seems like a lot of the discourse online is you have to earn love through you being a perfect person. And that's just ain't it. That's not it. So I have just been really appreciating the flaws, like not the flaws, but just it's so like real. Like, I don't know. I remember like there was a period where all of my friends were just being cheated on, and that was the standard in your 20s. Like, if you want to be in a relationship, you're going to get cheated on. How sad, right? That's why I was single for most of my 20s, pretty much all of my 20s, because I just saw so many of my friends accept that, like, well, this is at least I have someone. And it was like, accept what's out there and accept what comes with what's out there. And I was like, no, I think there's better. Like, I think well, let me just focus on my business. Let me focus on my career then, because I just didn't get it. I was just confused by it wasn't really settling, but how people kind of accepted, well, if this is the baseline, I might as well go for whatever's, yeah, whatever's in front of me. So I mention all of that because what's shown on this show isn't much different. Like we all of a sudden think that because they were casted on a show, because they agreed to be a part of this franchise, like for some reason they should be like top tier people, or we should be expecting them to be world class citizens. I don't know. It's like they probably wouldn't have trouble in the real world finding love if they were like so amazing. No, I don't even want to say that because there are so many amazing people who are still single because of the choices in front of them, or they just haven't had the opportunity to network and find more people that are to their standard. So I absolutely get that. But I do think that Love is Blind, they understand that the messier the person or the more flawed the human, the more of a possibility that this is going to be a really great show or there's going to be a really great character arc or story arc. And I just saw my girl Jules just got here, so I'm gonna try not to ramble too long. But anyways, what I'm really appreciating about the show overall is that I geek out over psychology and sociology and human behavior, and I love to just observe humans like in their natural habitat. And I think there are so many lessons that we can all draw from. And I don't want to go line by line yet because I think that could be a whole nother video. I could truly make a 6 hour recap of all of my thoughts, like episode by episode, because I took a lot of notes for some reason. But I'll say this, in the case of Marissa, it's there's two really strong opinions that I have. Number one, there was a period or there was a point where they were talking about religion and they were like, how much of religion should we put into our ceremony? And Ramses, who is the villain, he comes from a more religious background. And Marissa, she was kind of like, you know what? God could take a back seat. And that statement, of course, I'm rooting for Marissa, but that statement, I wasn't triggered, but I was like, girl, you don't have to be super religious or you don't have to, but I'm like, man, he is everything. And he is at the center of my relationship. And I have tried to do life without God and it never goes right. Like I can speak from experience. Like God should be at the foundation of every relationship. If you are a believer, if you're not, don't worry. But if you're a believer and you try to leave God out of the equation, that was my first like, ooh, ugh, let's see what happens. And second strong opinion I have is that when they had that breakup conversation and Ramses pretty much was like, I just don't want to go through with it. And she's breaking down and she's asking, like, are you sure? Like, what, like, this is for sure that you want to go through this. And I think there was two, really strong opinions that people had, like, oh, you better not cry over a man, you better not beg him to stay, and he wasn't worth it. Like, yes, and we talk about love being raw and messy and us desiring love and us wanting love. And you look at what happened with Alex and Tim, how Tim was just like, I don't want to see your face ever again in my life. Tim was real sassy. I was like, I feel like I've said that like when I was 12. I don't want to see your face ever again in my life. Stood 10 toes down. And Alex was like, okay. And she was eating her chicken wings. And like, you wouldn't think that she was just broken up. She was went about her day as if someone told her, oh, it's going to rain today. She's like, okay, cool. So that level of unbotheredness, obviously that's not real love. When you truly love someone and you care for them, you are going to be heartbroken in the moment when they end it. Like, what? So my opinion with that is like good for her for showing raw emotion, but bad for producers for literally filming every second of her breakdown. I felt really like I almost couldn't watch the TV when she was like, she had the confessional portion where she was just talking to the camera about how hurt she was. I was like, we should not be watching someone in this very vulnerable state, like have this very public meltdown. over someone who she really thought she was going to spend the rest of her life with. And say what you want about, the concept of Love is Blind and if people could really, really find their forever within 3 weeks. Stefan and I, we didn't meet until 6 weeks of talking. And probably by the third week, we were pretty much sold on each other. And Stefan would always say, he's like, I felt like she was my girlfriend without even asking it. Like we were treating each other like boyfriend and girlfriend, but we were just so, we were so deep into it. And the emotional connection was had so much depth that it wasn't something that we skipped the surface level basically. And we were both at a point in our lives where we were looking for a person. So, I mean, the timing was just really beautiful in that sense. So, we're going to put a pause on that. Once we watch the reunion, we will come back with more thoughts. And shout out to Garrett and Taylor. Very happy for them. They look adorable. The parents matching birthmarks with Garrett and the parent, like, what? Mm, I'm just, yes, like it's a vibe. I'm happy for them. I hope it works out. And more than anything, I love that the location was such an issue because I don't think enough people highlight uh, just the fact that men don't often move for women. Women usually move to the man's location. So I love that San Diego, that's Taylor's safe space. And yeah, Garrett's potentially moving there for her. So I really love that, especially if it works out, because I want women to see that, more women to see that as a possibility. Now let's talk about Love is Blind, Habibi. Y'all, this is some good ass TV. If you have not started watching, first of all, if you don't watch Love is Blind at all, I do recommend season one and then go to season seven. Like, those are the only two seasons that matter, in my opinion. And I would love for you to see even the improvements of and the quality of production. I am very, very impressed with how beautifully and cinematically that this is shot like a true documentary, which it pretty much is. And Love is Blind Habibi is also so well done, so beautifully done. And it just made me miss the Middle East so much. If you've never traveled to the Middle East, watch Love is Blind Habibi because you will see just how rich the culture is, how beautiful. And it's not about the glam and the lux of the Middle East, but just the richness in culture and just how everything is so intricately done and detailed and laid out and oh, yeah. Two favorite regions of the world is Asia and the Middle East. Easily. It's really, there's no place like the Middle East. And I think Dubai, I've been there. Oh my gosh, it's been 5 years since my last visit. Obviously layovers, but the last time I was there was for a month, just the UAE in general. It just made me miss it, like some parts. Obviously, no place is perfect. So of course, Dubai has its flaws, but I just really appreciate the nature of, I don't know, what came with filming in Dubai. You had people from Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Egypt, Tunisia, Senegal, French, Belgium, uh, Persia, like, sorry if I said, just all types of Middle Eastern cultures that were represented in one. Morocco, yeah, like it just, and it's the diversity within Middle Eastern cultures. That in itself is something to like just be in awe of. And I really appreciated, I have one episode left until the weddings. I really appreciated at certain parts where they allowed people's cultures to really shine. And as dramatic and kind of superficial the Habibi one is, I really also appreciate how it represents the culture, like Arab culture as is. And not, you can't even like, because Americans, like the US version versus the Dubai version, there are things that, okay, how do I say this? I loved that in Habibi, you don't see the couples kiss on the lips once, not once. So can you imagine the sexual tension? Now, I don't know, like, what's actually happening behind the scenes, but I appreciate that there is modesty in how it's filmed. And in the US version, there was a statement that Hannah made. She was like, he doesn't even eat my, and just the statement is so nonchalantly said. And I'm like, the parents are watching this. Like, is there no, like, is nothing sacred? Like, it just felt so, like you don't want to be talking about your sex life with the parents. Well, like it just felt like ugh. So I cringe at those moments. And I love how the parents can watch the Habibi version and still like there's nothing explicit. There's nothing overtly sexual. It's just it's it's the everyday uh just you know the everyday what do you call it? The little arguments, pettiness. I don't know. It's the everyday-ish that couples go through. I love that like that's the actual plot of the show. And I would say by far, I believe it's episode 7, Realityville of Habibi, where this is like the only reason you should watch the show. If it comes down to one singular moment, it is this when Karma turns down Amar, or is it Aman? Karma and Amars, I think. The guy that looks like Jesus. He's from Syria. This is the irony. Um, when she says, I choose art over love, and he was like, oh, this is just a minuscule, it's a frivolous issue that you want to be a belly dancer. She's like, frivolous? Like, art is my life. Like, dance is my life. I have an identity, and I deserve to keep art as a part of me. And he didn't want her to be a belly dancer and a wife. He's like, you need to choose because I will not have a wife who does dance. And she was like, well, you won't have me. And it just walks away with dignity. And then the scene cuts to her in this studio, belly dancing, full, dressed up, and just oh, it was it was such a moment for women and liberation, and just and just meanwhile, like there was early on in the show, there was a moment where a woman was like, feminists ruin everything because I want a man to pay for my entire life. And I died because at the end of the day, there are men like that that want that. You know, they want to be able to purchase everything for their wives and like that be their lifestyle. So whatever it is that you want from a man, it was showcased on the show. And I just love that there was a happy ending for everyone who chose themselves, if that makes sense. Like if you chose, if you actually prioritized, yeah, it just worked out. And I love as well that faith and family are such a big part of Arab culture. You, whether you watched it natively in Arabic or if you did English dubbing, I go back and forth, but I love listening to the native Arabic language because it just, you hear their personality more and it just feels a little bit more authentic. But every now and then I'll do English dubbing if I'm rewatching a scene because I just want to see how it comes across. And I just love how the statements, it reminds me of Nigerian culture so much because we have so many like, I guess you can call them platitudes, but everyday statements that we say it so casually, but there's such depth in the words and we mean it and we'll say like, oh, God bless you, God willing, God's mercy, God, thank God. And we are saying God in Nigerian culture, God is every other sentence. And so I love like, Arab culture and with their Islamic faith. Oh, I'm getting, I think she called me on accident. My massage therapist, which we'll get to in a second, just home service in Bali. It's just amazing. But yeah, the Islamic faith and just seeing how, yeah, how Arab culture, they just, God is in every other sentence. And I just love that for people, whatever faith you believe in. I just love to see people um just culturally expressive. It's just so beautiful to see. So yeah, that's that. Okay, let me get through this agenda because I got a lot more to say. Mm, I'm tired. Obviously, this video is 5 days late. because I'm just tired. And I don't know if it's end of the year fatigue or if it's me missing out on certain nutrients. Because when I was back in the US, I was taking like 9 to 10 supplements a day, like vitamin B, vitamin B12, vitamin D, vitamin C. Like I just had all of these things that would just, yeah, energize me and kind of like get me through the day. And naturally, being in Bali, the food quality here is much better. I'm not eating processed food as much. Definitely here and there I'll have something, but everything here is very natural, very healthy. So I don't need as many supplements because I'm getting my nutrients through just everyday food. But I still do feel like the B12 supplement I'm missing out on, and just maybe an everyday multivitamin just in case. My athletic greens, unfortunately, or AG1 rather, I've been taking that for almost 2 years now, pretty consistently, and it's huge difference in how I sleep. Um, yeah, the energy I have, magnesium, like just it would give me everything else. So we got to figure out a way to like buy AG1 in bulk and like store it in Bali so that we can always have a reserve that we can dip into because yeah, you go through it fast, especially because Stefan and I both take it every single day. So even if you buy a 60 pack and you travel with it, it's gone in a month. So it's tough. But yeah. Speaking of just health in general, maybe you have seen the viral TikTok or Instagram reel in Turkey and in Thailand, where you can get a full body like scan and health assessment and like mammogram and pap smear, and you can just get everything checked, and it's like $100. So guess what I'm doing? My friend Jules, she found the hospital in Thailand that we can do that at. So we're gonna be going to Thailand next, and we're gonna do that. And I'm very excited because I think my last like physical was either January of this year or like last December. So either way, I'm due soon. So I'm like, okay, like yes. And I have traveling health insurance, but I think it's more of like proactive for if anything happens. So it's nice to know that like, okay, if I ever just need to get those like annual physicals, now that I'm like not fully nomadic, half nomadic, I can just fly to Thailand or Turkey. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to that process and just getting an overview of like, okay, what can I do? I've been needing to get my blood work done because I may have some type of intolerance or allergy that is causing me to bloat or flare up. And so I would love to get clarity on that. And just if I know that there are certain things that I'm deficient in, like iron, like let me figure out a way to like be more proactive in that process of just supplementing my body. So very looking, very much looking forward to that. I'm noticing my face changes pretty much every video. And probably what I'm going to do at the end of the year is like just take a screenshot of like all of these weekly videos and just put it together in this like time lapse and see how my face changes over a year. And my last video, I think it was called Getting Chubby Again, which, which it's so funny, which of course is one of the more viewed videos of the series because it's not so much that people love to like, negativity, like, "Ooh, let's see glow fail," but it's real. It's human. It's like relatable. And I think people can connect and relate more to people struggling through a season versus winning at something. So no hard feelings there. Mm. It is my mom's 65th birthday today. So yeah, I'll be honest. Right now we're in one of those weird phases. If you've followed my journey, it's been a 20-year process of trying to understand how to improve my relationship with my mother. I am absolutely the most stubborn of the six kids. I do consider myself the black sheep of the family. Uh-oh, let me Ooh, okay, my battery is dying soon. Should I just shut up or should I run and get my charger? Okay, we're gonna power through this. We got 10%. I believe in us. Okay, I'm gonna lower the resolution of my video. That should do it. Okay, so yeah, I am constantly we've done family therapy, like all six kids and my mom, trying to help her understand our adult experience. Because if you come from an immigrant background, especially if your parents immigrated to the US, like you know the sacrifices they've made, know the hardships, like you appreciate all of that. And still, you want to kind of reintroduce yourself to them as this this actualized person who is worthy of chasing her own dreams and not having to live out theirs. And it's a hard process because balancing balancing their disappointment. I was like, what's another word? It's disappointment. Balancing their, oh, sorry, this is, I'll put this over here. Balancing their disappointment with your desire to maintain a positive relationship. It's heavy. And there are some seasons where you don't have the capacity to stomach the criticism or to just keep taking like these verbal beatdowns. Because at the end of the day, like whatever I choose to do with my life, and as long as I'm not hurting anyone and I'm not doing anything to embarrass or humiliate the family. Like I feel like I'm worthy of having my dreams chased and fully realized. And even if that dream doesn't make sense to her, like it's okay for me to still walk it and to live it. And yeah, so it's been an ongoing journey. So I've been really crafting the words both to honor her birthday and still acknowledge that I know we're not in the best place, but I want you to know that I still love you. I still care for you. I'm still here for you. And yeah, it's beautiful, and I've really done a lot of work in therapy to help figure out how to approach holidays and birthdays when we haven't spoken for a year or several years. Like, what do I do on birthdays? When I do feel I have the capacity to say something. So yeah, that's been a current journey. So yeah, we are getting ready to head to Thailand in a couple weeks. And just looking at Airbnbs, we're recognizing that we're probably going to go from like spacious villas to like these high-rise condos and apartments. And I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. It is going to remind me of like what it's like to live in the US, but I've really, really have appreciated the spaciousness and peace and ease that Bali, provides. And I'm just like really grateful. I'm like, how do we get down to 6%? Oh, this is ghetto. Okay. Creative flow. I feel like I did something on Notion where I love the Kanban board for like productivity. And I called it, instead of my to-do list, the glow flow. I be shimmying on my on myself. So the glow flow, it allows me to say, okay, what needs to be done, what's in progress, what's hasn't been started. And I'm like, I appreciate this. So sometimes truly just like spicing up the name of stuff can like change something that's usually dreaded to something that could be fun. How do I change this so that I could see the percentage? Ugh, I feel like I shouldn't be doing this right now, but I'm opening my battery settings so that I can see what the number is next to the battery. Low power mode. Ooh, only on battery. Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, so I'm on low power mode. That's good. Battery health is normal. Okay. Dun-dun-dun. Okay, at this point, ET is what it is. All right, we're back. 5%. Okay, girl, you got three more points. You can do it. Social media detoxing. I feel like I'm posting every 4 to 5 days, 3 to 4 days. It feels kind of nice. I think what I'm trying to do is get to a point where I have 1 to 2 quality posts per week. And this is someone, again, who's posted for 21 years on the internet. And on Instagram, if you take the average of my posts, like the number of times I've posted and the length that I've been on Instagram, like 13 years or 12 years, I've posted every single day 1.4 times for 13 years. So like I've earned my rest. I've earned my pace. And the way the algorithm works now is they're stretching the length of time that someone can see a single post. So if you post it on Monday, it might not get seen by some people till Thursday. So that's great for us because it doesn't mean we have to be as frequent with our posting. And so I'm loving that process and I'm loving taking that approach. And yeah, what else, what else, what else? Handing the keys over. I have like, yeah, oh my gosh, about a month until I officially, fly back to the US, hand over the keys, and a little over a month. And they were like sending me emails of like goodbye and thank you and processes of like, yeah, I'm just like, dang, it's happening. And then some of the things that they want to do, like inspections, I'm like, man, I want to be there for it. Like, what are they gonna do? Because my apartment is decorated immaculately. And I always wonder, like the conversations of like them looking through my photos and just seeing certain things, like, who is this chick? Like, you have this like mural or this wall of like 80 countries and 80 photos of like me and all of them. It's just, I don't know. I'm just always curious of like, what do they think I do? I've been called a spy before, but okay, last but not least, sorry, two more things. Home services in Bali. Another thing I really appreciate is like when my nails are breaking, I was like, oh, I should probably get them done, but I didn't feel like leaving the villa. So I just like texted my massage lady. I'm like, hey, do you know anyone that does home service nails? She's like, yeah, what time would you like me to be there? Or what time would you like them to be there? And I'm like, I know, that's right. And anywhere in the US, like that is premium service, you're paying times 10. It's just, I'm just so grateful that like basic everyday things that I feel like it's a part of self-care and it's also feels like a luxury. It doesn't have to be at luxury prices. And I'm in this mode of like simplifying life, simplifying expenses, simplifying what I even own. So I love this for me. Lastly, I need a November experiment. So I'll go through all of my experiments since the top of the year. So if you don't remember, I have had my word of the year was experiment. So I've done a monthly experiment each year. January was my hairstyle, February was my wardrobe, March I tried to go vegan, April different content formats, May LinkedIn optimization, June my launch strategy, July time blocking, August Snapchat, September creative collaborations, and October I was doing one frame Instagram stories. Maybe you've noticed it. But if you do one single frame on Instagram, your engagement spikes times four up to times 10. It's been crazy, but I've just been like really, yeah, really curious about why it's doing that. So yeah, in November, I need a new experiment, maybe something with fitness, because I think I'm ready to do something different with my health approach. Okay, we did it, y'all. This was a longer one, but we got through it. And let me see how much battery, 4%. She don't miss. She don't miss. All right. It's been a pleasure. I'm gonna see y'all in a couple days since this was so late. We have another video. So maybe we'll talk more about Love is Blind on the next one. Thank you for watching. See y'all next time. Bye.